Hello, everyone. Hello, Retrothon again. We are going to bringing you some serious super dodgeball action with you. On the left here, we got baldnate, and on the right, we got City Connection. As you can see, he still has his timer set there. realdealdipirro. A couple of awesome dodgeball runners. I'm going to go ahead and give the countdown here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a go. Alright, so they're gonna go here. And this is Super Dodgeball. This is a really awesome game. This is actually any percent route. There's a difference. You might think there's only like one route for this game, but there's actually a couple. Any percent actually stops against the USSR as opposed to going against the Shadow Team, which would be 100%. And the reason this works the way it does is because during the last battle with the USSR team in the end, they will be intentionally losing one of their players so they don't have to fight the last round. So it's a little, it's a slightly bit faster. We see baldnate just creams through the first team here. Okay. So to explain how the game works a little bit, you can see there's dodgeball powers, basically. You can see him sprinting forward. You have to sprint forward for a necessary number of frames. It's not necessarily due to how far you go, just how many frames you get, and before you reach the ball. Man, baldnate is flying through this right now. All right, he's already on the India team. You can see him. He's trying to reset his roster over and over again. This is because he doesn't want to face against Swami. Swami on the India team is the highest defensive player in the entire game. He will absolutely take forever to take down. He only takes one hit, no matter if you do a super throw or not. As you can see here, actually, the default player for the team that you use, Sam, has pretty much the best special you want. It goes through all of them, flying in a row there. We got a little swag by baldnate there with the turnaround jumper. Each player does have two different specials, the running special and the running jump special. But it just so happens that the default running special for the default player and the one slot is a champion. And now he's in Iceland. There is ice physics here. You can see it as he runs across the line and he hits them all, that he is actually slipping across the line a little bit. It doesn't affect you if you're walking, but if you're running, you got to be prepared for it. One of those members is coming out a little bit out of the way there for baldnate. But they finally grew back together, and he's going to take them all out in this one. Another thing to note is you can actually control the ball after you've thrown it. When you do your super, you can hold up or down, and it will curve that direction. This is important for hitting all three members, if you can manage to do that. Another thing, there's 3 difficulty levels in this game. There's no real difference except, like, enemy movement RNG, like how often they catch the ball or just like separate and stuff. That's the only real difference. And this one's on easy. It's just the fastest because you're not going to get any randomness. It cuts down on the randomness. So in this stage, as you can see, he has like a slow running start, so he doesn't actually have to go back as far as he does in the other stages. And again, it's based on how long you've been running forward, not how far you've been running forward. So he can actually use this as an advantage to not go that far backwards. And we're going to see the swag turnaround super there by Sam, smacking him right in the head. Moving on. We got Real Deal here, getting up to Iceland. He's finding his groove now. So he has to deal with the ice physics, which aren't a real big deal. They're a deal because when you go backwards to set up for your next supercharge, that you slide way backwards. So it can be a kind of a pain in the butt. But baldnate has him all lined up here. This is just a typical course. Nothing special about the terrain or anything, and like the varying differences between the nations and their hit points or defense or whatever is negligible. Pretty much, you're just looking to throw through them all. So baldnate is already on the last fight here. You see, he's going to toss the ball nice and slow over there. And then he's going to make his weakest player get smacked in the face there. And then while he's waiting for his weakest player to get back up, he will do a super to do some damage. And then he's going to toss it back to his weakest player, so he's in control of him. He's going to come back up, and well, unfortunately, they all missed. He's going to come back up so he can get slammed. The computer did not... Oh, this is just bad RNG from baldnate, who's been having a stellar run so far. But as you can see here, he's trying to get his weakest player hit. And the computer is just trolling him. They're just trolling him all over the place. And that was a seriously insane pace by baldnate for a while there. I'm not sure if that's the 100% category or the 90% category. If you're referring to the 518, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is some of the RNG you have to deal with when you're trying to knock one of your players out. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. Not quite there yet. There you go. All right. So he got one of his players knocked out. Finally. He got really trolled RNG in that one. Otherwise, this pace was really good. But this is indeed the last matchup. Now he's going to take it on like every other matchup that he said. He's going to get that running start. You kind of look for visual cues when to run back and forth so you can limit how long it takes you. Because since that's pretty much your only move in this game that you're going to need, you want to cut it down as limited as possible frame-wise, so you can save all the frames. Again, as you can see, Real Deal is over in the area where, you see, he actually ran too much and lost his ability for the super. So if you run too far, you also lose it. It's within a window in order for your super to be used. All right, he's only got one player left to do. We're going to see the swag. Nope, he's just going to do the running. He's down to one hit. Here comes the swag turnaround shot for the win. Boom! 618 there by baldnate. He takes the race. Congratulations, baldnate. You are the Super Dodgeball Champion today. Unfortunately, you got super trolled in the last fight, but which might have actually cost you a record run. It was really good pace. Alas, you are the winner. Congratulations. And it will go through the credits. And he does not have to fight the Shadow Team. He gets to enjoy getting thrown in the air and celebrating his any percent victory today. As we go over to Real Deal, who's hanging out in Japan. Again, this is one of those that it's negligible differences between the stats for each team. So you just pretty much wind up and go, just like the first team, just like every other team, just wind up and go. He's taking a little bit longer run back and forth just to make sure that he's getting the appropriate amount of time between them. Not cutting him quite as close. He tries to duck that, ends up getting smacked in the face instead. We're going to see another special here. John's special, it curves a little bit in the air. See, Sam's special just motors right through all of them and it hits all three, which is why it's so good. It hits through all three of them and it goes straight, so it's as fast as possible. There's another one. That one just waves up and down. But now he has to wait for the enemy to become on dizzy, because he can't go grab the dodgeball. He'll catch it. It looks like he's going to end Sato here and move on. Boom. There he goes. He's moving on up in the ranks of the dodgeball world. For the final fight here against the USSR, as you just saw, going to give it to the weakest person. Kind of toss it over there. Let him catch it. And then take it to the face. Only 2 damage there. Not too much. Oh yeah, Polly, as I explained in the beginning, the whole reason to lose a player in the USSR match is so you don't have to fight the shadow match at the end of the game. Which is why this is listed as any percent and not 100%. Technically, this would be faster, I would say, than fighting the entire last match if you can just get that player out as fast as possible. But you're kind of banking on enemy RNG to do its thing. As you can see, it's not reliable. especially on easy where the computers are just stupid. But for marathon purposes, yeah, it might have been safer to just do 100%. But regardless, Mike took a big old hit there, 11 damage. He's looking hurting. He's hurting looking. Real deal going with the straight strat of just tossing them the ball over and over again to try to get Mike out as fast as possible. So they just run up to the line and then toss it to their friend there. Didn't do anything. No worries, Polly. No worries. Just reiterating what I mentioned at the first is why this is happening in this fight. It is pretty much the most important part of this category. As you like, the way to beat the other team is the same as it always is going to be. So the fastest you can get your weakest player out of the game is really important. This is why you alternate between hitting your opponent and then just tossing it over so they can hit Mike. So Mike is out of the game now. So now we're going to see more of that running, winding up, and tossing here. And Boris, Ivan, and Pavel are never going to know more pain in their life than they will now as they get dodgeball smacked in the face so hard that they fly into the air. This game certainly has a lot of charm in it. It's one of the Kunio-kun games. There's quite a few of them. It's a shame that we didn't get more of them because they're actually really fun. There's the different kind of sporting event ones and like the Olympic version, and they're all really fun games. And yeah, he's just gonna whittle down his opponents here until he is victorious, until he's tossed in the air. You know, there's 2 left now. Ivan's only at a couple of hit points at best, and there goes Ivan. Down to Boris. Down to Boris. Boris, 3 ticks of health left, which doesn't actually tell you how much it is. Oh, he goes for the swag shot for the win. The turnaround 14 slammer. There it is. 11:04, Real Deal finishes. Congratulations to Baldnate for the win. Well done on finishing Real Deal. That was a fun race. Thank you for having me as commentator. Make sure you follow both these awesome speedrunners.